When I think about the future of New York City, first of all, I can't help but be really excited for a better New York City, kind of New York City 2.0, as I really believe that it will be. But thinking about the future, I can't help kind of rewind to the past, because when I think about the history of what it means to be a New Yorker and some of the times that we've endured, we've overcome some amazing times, some amazing events that people didn't really have so much hope during those times. The Great Depression, some of the world wars, 9/11, the financial crash in 2008. I mean, these are some significant historic moments that I do feel like people were somewhat hopeless during those times. What do you think about this moment in time and what we can kind of look out into the future as New Yorkers?
And I think I share a lot of what you're saying right now, because I think that because we're human beings, we emotionally connect to the time period that we're living in. And for lots of us, and probably most of us, it's hard to see a better future while you're going through something that's very troubling. And yet in my lifetime, and when I think about, when people talk about, or, I've had conversations with friends, they'll say, it's never going to be the same for our children. Things are really tough. It's never been this way. And yet people live through, I can't imagine like the roaring 20s and what happened during the 30s when people went through almost like a depression for 7 or 8 years, or they went through the time of the Holocaust, or they went through the world wars, or they went through, I remember in 1992, the savings and loan crisis where the market crashed. I mean, it was 1988, the stock market was 1,200 and dropped to 800. People thought it was the end. Meanwhile, can you imagine somebody in 1988 thinking that the market was going to be 40 times higher in 2020? No. I think that people just get stuck in the moment. And when the stock market is 30,000, you think it's going to go to 50. When the stock market drops to 7, you think maybe it'll go to 1. It's just how we are mentally. So I think that New York has been like an incredible place on earth. I mean, there's no reason that Facebook and some of these big companies are still putting their money here, right? So they know a lot because they can go anywhere in the country.
They sure can.
And they're still coming here. And I think over time, obviously with the passing of the pandemic and the vaccines that we hope are going to take place, and the city getting restaurants back again and theater back again and vibrance back again, people are going to be excited about being here, because when it's great, there's nothing like this place on earth, nothing. And it will be that way again. And people want to be socially interactive, and they're going to want to go to work. Yes, things will change, and there will be different opportunities that we're seeing now as we speak. But this is a great place, and I think it's going to stay great.
I believe that too, Stuart. And I think that because there's such an emphasis on buildings being healthy and safe and sustainable during this time, there's such a spotlight on those trends. Those are real needs as humans that we need from our buildings, that when we do come back to buildings, they will have such a kind of emphasized value. They'll be so much more robust, they'll be more dynamic, and there'll be real purpose in being in a space, whether it's to collaborate with colleagues, whether it's to have some sort of experience, whether it's hospitality or for business, personal. There has to be such a higher level of experience in our built environment that I can't wait to see New York City 2.0, as I'm calling it.
Me too.
I'm really excited.
I'm ready to get back on the subway.
I'm ready, eventually.
Yeah.
No, but I'm ready to get back to a whole host of things. And meeting people is one really big one that you just can't replace digitally. So on that note, with our sights set on a bright future for New York City, I want to say thank you so much for sharing your knowledge. I encourage those who are watching to reach out to Stuart and pick his brain and understand what he knows about real estate financing, but specifically this time, because it's an unprecedented time And there are a lot of things that I know you're learning just by rolling up your sleeves and getting into some of these deals. So I hope that people will connect with you and learn from you, like I have had the privilege of doing over the last few months, let alone the last couple of years of knowing you. But it is a really, really unique time. So I appreciate you lending your insights.
And I want to thank you also for having the opportunity to do this. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to talk to a lot of people about solutions that we can provide and make people be in a better state than they are right now.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.